Have you ever felt your heart racing before a big moment? That flutter in your stomach, the sweaty palms, the quickened breath. These are all signs of anxiety. But what if we told you that this feeling, often seen as a hindrance, could actually be the key to your success? Anxiety is a universal experience. It's that sensation of unease, worry, or fear that creeps in when we face uncertain or challenging situations. While many of us try to avoid or suppress these feelings, there's a growing body of evidence suggesting that anxiety, when understood and channeled correctly, can be a powerful driving force for greatness. Let's start by understanding what anxiety really is. At its core, anxiety is our body's natural response to stress. It's a complex interplay of physical and mental reactions designed to prepare us for potential threats or challenges. When we feel anxious, our body releases hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. These chemicals trigger a range of physical symptoms: increased heart rate, rapid breathing, heightened alertness, and even that familiar feeling of butterflies in your stomach. But here's where it gets interesting. These same physical responses that make us feel uncomfortable can also sharpen our focus, boost our energy, and heighten our senses. It's all about how we interpret and use these sensations. Reframing anxiety is the first step in harnessing its power. Instead of viewing anxiety as a threat, we can choose to see it as a sign that we're about to do something important or meaningful. This shift in perspective can transform anxiety from a paralyzing force into a motivating one. Think about it. When you're anxious about an upcoming presentation, it's because you care about doing well. That nervous energy can drive you to prepare more thoroughly, rehearse your points, and deliver with passion and conviction. The key is to recognize that your anxiety isn't trying to hold you back. It's trying to push you forward. This idea of productive anxiety isn't just anecdotal, it's backed by science. The Yerkes-Dodson law, a principle in psychology, suggests that there's an optimal level of arousal for performance. Too little anxiety, and we might feel unmotivated or unprepared. Too much, and we can become overwhelmed and paralyzed. But right in the middle, there's a sweet spot where anxiety actually enhances our performance. Finding your personal anxiety sweet spot is crucial. It varies from person to person and even from task to task. For some, a high-pressure situation brings out their best work. For others, a more moderate level of stress is ideal. The key is to pay attention to your body and your performance. When do you feel most focused and productive? What level of nervous energy helps you perform at your peak? Once you've identified your optimal level of anxiety, you can start to channel that nervous energy effectively. One powerful technique is to redirect anxious thoughts into action. Instead of dwelling on what might go wrong, focus on what you can do right now to prepare or improve. This might mean breaking a big task into smaller, manageable steps or creating a detailed action plan. Physical movement can also be a great way to manage anxiety positively. Simple activities like taking a brisk walk, doing some stretches, or even just taking a few deep breaths can help to burn off excess nervous energy and bring you back to a more centered state. Building resilience through gradual exposure to anxiety-inducing situations is another effective strategy. Each time you face a fear or overcome a challenge, you build confidence in your ability to handle stress. Start small. If public speaking terrifies you, begin by sharing your thoughts in small group discussions, then gradually work your way up to larger audiences. Mindfulness practices can be particularly powerful in managing anxiety. By learning to be present in the moment, you can observe your anxious thoughts without getting caught up in them. This allows you to respond to anxiety more consciously, rather than reacting automatically. One of the most powerful aspects of anxiety is its ability to motivate us. That uncomfortable feeling can push us to prepare more thoroughly, work harder, and strive for excellence. When we're anxious about an outcome, we're more likely to put in the extra effort needed to succeed. However, it's important to distinguish between productive anxiety and harmful perfectionism. While anxiety can drive us to improve, perfectionism can set unrealistic standards that lead to burnout and disappointment. The goal is to use anxiety as a tool for growth, not as a stick to beat ourselves with. The way we talk to ourselves plays a huge role in how we experience and use anxiety. Negative self-talk can amplify anxiety and make it overwhelming. On the other hand, positive self-talk can help us reframe anxiety as excitement and channel it productively. Practice catching negative thoughts and replacing them with more balanced, encouraging ones. Even when anxiety leads to setbacks or mistakes, there's value to be found. Every anxious moment we face is an opportunity to learn and grow. Maybe you stumbled over your words during a presentation. That's a chance to identify areas for improvement in your public speaking skills. By adopting a growth mindset, we can view these experiences not as failures, but as stepping stones on the path to success. Many successful people throughout history have learned to harness their anxiety and use it as a driving force. From artists to athletes, business leaders to scientists, there are countless stories of individuals who have turned their nervous energy into remarkable achievements. As we wrap up, let's recap the key points. Anxiety, often seen as an enemy, can actually be a powerful ally when understood and used effectively. By reframing our perspective, finding our optimal level of arousal, and employing strategies to channel nervous energy productively, we can turn anxiety into a tool for success. Remember, the goal isn't to eliminate anxiety completely. It's to work with it, to harness its energy, and use it to propel you towards your goals. The next time you feel that familiar flutter of nervousness, take a moment to appreciate it. It's a sign that you're pushing yourself, that you're facing something meaningful and important. Anxiety is a normal part of the human experience, and it doesn't have to hold you back. With practice and patience, you can learn to ride the wave of nervous energy, using it to fuel your focus, drive your determination, and ultimately achieve greatness. So, are you ready to see your anxiety in a new light? To harness its power and use it as a springboard for success? The journey may not always be comfortable, but the potential for growth and achievement is limitless. Your anxiety isn't your weakness. It might just be your secret strength. Now, let's delve deeper into some practical strategies for harnessing anxiety and turning it into a powerful tool for success. Understanding your personal anxiety triggers is a crucial step in this process. Everyone has different situations or thoughts that spark anxiety. For some, it might be public speaking or job interviews. For others, it could be social gatherings or tight deadlines. By identifying your specific triggers, you can start to prepare for them more effectively. Once you've identified your triggers, you can develop personalized coping strategies. This might involve visualization techniques, where you imagine yourself successfully navigating the anxiety-inducing situation. Or it could be creating a pre-event ritual that helps you feel grounded and prepared. Another powerful tool is cognitive restructuring. This involves challenging and changing the thoughts that fuel your anxiety. Often, our anxious thoughts are exaggerated or unrealistic. By questioning these thoughts and replacing them with more balanced, rational ones, we can reduce the intensity of our anxiety and channel it more productively. For example, if you're anxious about a job interview, you might find yourself thinking, "I'm going to mess this up completely." A more balanced thought might be, This is an important opportunity and it's normal to feel nervous. I've prepared well and I'll do my best. Physical preparation can also play a significant role in managing anxiety. Regular exercise has been shown to reduce overall anxiety levels and improve stress resilience. Even on the day of a big event, some light physical activity can help burn off excess nervous energy and improve your focus. Breathing exercises are another simple yet effective tool for managing anxiety in the moment. Deep, slow breaths can help activate your body's relaxation response, bringing you back to a more centered state. Practice these techniques regularly so they become second nature when you need them most. It's also important to consider the role of lifestyle factors in managing anxiety. Adequate sleep, a balanced diet, and limiting caffeine and alcohol intake can all contribute to better anxiety management. While these might seem like small things, they can make a significant difference in how you experience and handle anxiety. Another aspect to consider is the power of preparation. Often, anxiety stems from a fear of the unknown or a sense of being unprepared. By thoroughly preparing for challenging situations, you can reduce some of this uncertainty and channel your anxious energy into productive action. This doesn't mean trying to control every aspect of a situation. That's neither possible nor helpful. Instead, focus on what you can control. If you're anxious about a presentation, for example, you can control your level of preparation, your knowledge of the material, and your practice of delivery techniques. Developing a growth mindset is crucial when working with anxiety. This means viewing challenges and setbacks as opportunities for learning and improvement rather than as threats or failures. With a growth mindset, you can start to see anxiety-inducing situations as chances to build your skills and resilience. It's also helpful to reframe physical symptoms of anxiety as signs of excitement or readiness. That racing heart, it's pumping extra oxygen to your brain, helping you think more clearly. Those butterflies in your stomach, they're a sign that you're about to do something important and meaningful. Remember, the goal isn't to eliminate anxiety completely. Some level of anxiety is not only normal but can be beneficial. Instead, aim to build your capacity to work with anxiety, to use it as a tool rather than seeing it as an obstacle. One powerful way to do this is through gradual exposure. Start by facing smaller, anxiety-inducing situations and gradually work your way up to bigger challenges. Each time you successfully navigate an anxious moment, you build confidence in your ability to handle stress. Mindfulness and meditation practices can be incredibly helpful in managing anxiety. These techniques teach you to observe your thoughts and feelings without getting caught up in them. With practice, you can learn to notice anxious thoughts as they arise, acknowledge them without judgment, and then return your focus to the present moment. It's also important to cultivate self-compassion as you work on harnessing your anxiety. Be patient with yourself. Learning to channel anxiety productively is a skill, and like any skill, it takes time and practice to develop. Treat yourself with kindness and understanding, especially when things don't go as planned. Remember that seeking support is a sign of strength, not weakness. Whether it's talking to a trusted friend, joining a support group, or working with a therapist, having a support system can make a big difference in your anxiety management journey. As you continue to work with your anxiety, you may find that it becomes a valuable source of information. Anxiety often points to areas of our lives that need attention or aspects of ourselves that we need to develop. By listening to your anxiety rather than trying to silence it, you can gain insights that lead to personal growth and development. It's also worth noting that anxiety can be a powerful creative force. Many artists, writers, and innovators have channeled their anxiety into their work, using it as a source of inspiration and motivation. If you have a creative outlet, consider how you might use your anxious energy to fuel your creative endeavors. In professional settings, anxiety can drive us to be more thorough and attentive to detail. It can push us to double check our work, consider potential pitfalls, and come up with contingency plans. When channeled effectively, this can lead to higher quality work and better problem solving skills. For those in leadership positions, learning to harness anxiety can be particularly valuable. Leaders who can model effective anxiety management and use their nervous energy productively can inspire and motivate their teams to do the same. It's also important to recognize that anxiety can sometimes be a signal that we need to make changes in our lives. If you're constantly anxious about a particular aspect of your life, your job, a relationship, or a specific situation, it might be worth examining whether there are changes you need to make. As you continue on this journey of harnessing your anxiety, remember that progress isn't always linear. There will be ups and downs, moments of breakthrough and moments of setback. The key is to maintain a long-term perspective and to celebrate your progress along the way. Each time you successfully channel your anxiety into productive action, take a moment to acknowledge that achievement. This positive reinforcement can help rewire your brain to associate anxiety with opportunity rather than threat. In conclusion, anxiety doesn't have to be a roadblock on your path to success. With understanding, practice, and the right strategies, it can become a powerful driving force. By reframing your relationship with anxiety, developing effective coping mechanisms, and learning to channel nervous energy productively, you can turn what once felt like a weakness into one of your greatest strengths. Remember, the goal isn't to live a life free from anxiety. It's to live a life where anxiety propels you forward rather than holding you back. Embrace the nervous energy, learn from it, use it, and let it drive you towards your goals and dreams. Your anxiety is a part of you, but it doesn't define you. It's a tool at your disposal, waiting to be harnessed. So the next time you feel that familiar flutter of nervousness, take a deep breath and remind yourself, this feeling isn't here to stop you. It's here to tell you that you're about to do something important, something that matters. Are you ready to transform your relationship with anxiety? To use it as a catalyst for growth and achievement? The path may not always be easy, but the potential rewards are immense. Your journey to harnessing anxiety for success starts now. Take that first step and watch as your nervous energy becomes the fuel that drives you to greatness.